Hey guys, so this is a first, I guess, somewhat. I'm here in the Sand Hills area of North Carolina. I don't want to yell, but I'm trying to be as loud as possible to be able to make this video. It is, as you can see, downpouring. I got a little tarp over my phone, wearing my poncho, like actually utilizing my poncho as a poncho for the first time in years. I got my chest rig on, got my rifle underneath, just enjoying the environment, I guess. My bottom half of my legs are soaked already. My blouse's arms down is soaked. Like I said, it's been the first time in years that I've dealt with rain. Yeah, the tarp is working all right. So today's quick video is about a small little piece of kit that I think it might seem boomer fud, but in a unconventional small unit application, I think it could have some viable applications for a small unit. So before we get into that, sponsors of today's video are Brownells, Nautilus Ammunitions, Good Camo, Ruck Sock, and more. All the links and discount codes affiliated with those groups and companies are available in my link tree in my bio on Instagram. Thank you to those companies for allowing me to be able to come out and do stuff in any weathered environment. So thank you to those companies for being able to make it so I can keep doing stuff like this. So thank you to that. All right, so the small piece of kit I want to talk about in today's video is one of these. It's a 12, I have it in a plastic bag to keep it dry, but I'll pull the one that's in the packaging out, I guess, since that's not what we're utilizing. One of these 12 gauge blank alarm, tripwire alarms. Look at this one in the packaging. So you've got the firing pin and the spring mechanism, the safety retaining pin, the plunger that you pull back that utilizes the spring inside with the firing pin, and then you put a 12 gauge blank in the little slot on the front or bottom, however you're orientating it. It has four holes, or no, it has two holes drilled into two that go through it that you can utilize zip ties or tripwire. I mean, if you were putting it in like the doorway of a building, you could put it, screw it in with like a 3-inch screw into the wall, so it's semi-permanent, I guess. But you've got the two holes for that. There's the safety pin, and then that's a little not D-ring, key ring that goes on the back of the plunger, where you can affix like a piece of string or something to help you, or you basically use that to pull the plunger back. So why does this have an application in a small group setting? So from my conversations, my reading, my learning, etc., from veterans from multiple different insurgent wars, Bush wars, the border wars, when they're operating in small teams, and I mean it's applicable in today's military, or has been utilized in Afghanistan and Iraq, especially when an OP is set up. You've got the foot poppers, you've got claymores with tripwire, etc. So for a small team, for a small group of guys, the applications, they're not endless. But say you set up an OP with your 4-man team, and you've got two people on the left and right. So you got an OP set up. You generally want an inaccessible area behind you so that somebody can't sneak up behind you. But if you can't utilize your OP that way, you've got 4 people, you've got people observing, you've got somebody pulling left or right security, and then somebody potentially pulling rear security. Now if enemy is known to be front, and you don't expect anybody to come from the rear, you need all eyes facing out towards where the enemy most likely is. Then you're going to need a way, an early detection way, that might not be like, I think I posted in a video a long time ago, I have one of those little mini safety sirens that like women can put on their keychain, or you can use on a hotel door, right? I posted that. I have that in one of my belt kits as an early detection thing. The problem with that is once it's tripped, it keeps emitting the sound for an extended period of time, as opposed to one of these poppers, where it just makes a snap, and you can have an SOP, you can have your unit procedure, where your team, whatever mission, objective, etc., that you're doing, you can have your unit trained, prepared to react to, if we hear the popper go off, this is exactly what we're going to do. Front, rear, bup, bup, bup. So for a unconventional, not military related, because that's part of all of this, what we're talking about, unconventional setting, I think they have a lot of good applications. You set up your OP, you're observing a road that you know the enemy's on, you have spot, everybody's got their optics, they're observing their lanes of fire. You know you came from this area and there shouldn't be any enemy there. So what do? You've got your trees behind you. Trees behind you. You can take a zip tie or the wire and attach it to the bottom of the tree. Obviously, run the line to another tree. And if everybody's carrying one or two of them, you can set up a half circle, the rear perimeter of your space. Obviously, if it pops up, we're not talking about COVID. Well, we're talking about surveillance reconnaissance, but we're also talking about if you get made, cover blown, however you want to put it, you're going to have to engage in some way, shape, or form. So, that being said, that is why I think these poppers are a big plus for small team applications. Now, when you've got inclement weather like this, they sell the blanks that are sealed. Now, what I have, if I can get that out of my pocket, I have a cut shot shell, right? So I cut it out, I still have the powder, and I'm going to pour the powder out, but it's obviously, it's got its primer, a full shot shell. Now, you're not supposed to use like full shotgun shells with these, solely because it's like a grenade going off. It doesn't necessarily have a direction it goes off. I'm not advocating for that at all. You want to try it? That's on your own prerogative. But cut shot shell, the issue is with how much rain we're getting right now, like how much it's raining, it depends on how well sealed your primer in the inside. Because if you're cutting off a shotgun shell, you're breaking that seal. The shotgun shells, modern plastic shotgun shells, are waterproof, right? So you don't necessarily have to worry about dropping them in the water when you're duck hunting, etc., etc. But when it comes to cutting the top off, you're exposing the wad still in there. You're exposing the inner part of the primer to the elements, which if you have the shot shell facing up, you can basically orient this however you want, left, right, up, down. But if you have it facing up and it's raining, it's going to get water in it, and it most likely won't fire, because the inside of the primer, it's the bit that ignites. It's a little explosion inside that ignites into the shell, but it's not crimped, sealed the way the outside of it is. Basic fire, basic bullet chemistry, right? So that is how. That's how I think it's applicable in a small team situation. I'm going to affix it between two trees. I'm going to attempt to, with this rain. I'm going to affix it between two trees, and I'm just going to give a demonstration of how loud a shotgun primer is with one of these. I'll rig this up, and I'll set the shotgun. I'll have the camera on it. I'll set the shotgun primer up. So, all right. So I'm at the base of the tree. Got my multi-tool. Got my spool of tripwire. I'm going to measure around the tree. Give it an extra, give it some extra. Gonna put that. Get another bit. Give it some extra. Flip that. Now I've got the 2 pieces going through my wet poncho. Get the popper out. I'm gonna set the tripwire to a tree that side. I'm gonna set the tripwire to a tree that's it just got harder. So the raining just got harder. So I'm gonna set the tripwire to that tree. So I'm gonna have it facing down with the shotgun shell, firing pin that way. And we're expecting the approaching force or whatever to be coming this way. We fix it on the opposite side of the tree so that they can't see it right off. It's actually a great testing application. This is also the first time I've ever used one of these, so you're learning with me. All right, we measured the length of wire. We're going to affix tightly to this end of the pin. So we affix that to that end of the pin. Multi-tool. Oh, hold on. Yeah, you see this pine needle? That's stuff you obviously don't want on your tripwire because that'll give away there's a fucking wire. So, all right. So now that we have that affixed to the tree, facing this way, right? Facing this way, which we predict the enemy to be approaching because we have the entire other way covered, right? So that's why we have it this way. I'm gonna get the cut shot shell out, okay, out of the plastic bag. It still has the wad in it and the powder. I'm just gonna pull the wad, dump the powder because I don't need an actual explosion. Trying to keep water out of the firing pin. And now I'm gonna walk across the wire, and can you guys hold on? All right, you guys can see it. Obviously, you don't need to use a red shotgun shell. You can use black, green, etc. So we're just gonna walk across the trip line, coming from this direction. And you guys will see it get set off. And that's it. So the minute that pop gets set off, you have your react to contact drill for, somebody to the rear. You got to get your guys X, Y, and Z online and react to a threat to the rear. So it's just a popper like that, and it's that easy. Now, when we're talking, hold on, I'm going away from the camera. When we're talking about setting this up, obviously in a position like that where you get contact and you're made, right? Your unit is, your group, your team is, whatchamajig, is compromised. This is disposable. You leave it behind, which is nice because it actually doesn't have any markings on it. No maker's marks. So, there you go. 12 gauge blank tripwire alarm. 15 bucks, I think. Easy, simple. You can use any shotgun shell. You cut the base of it, top of it off, pour out the shot, pour out the powder. I think it's pretty fucking applicable. That's in my opinion. So there you go. Basic usage on one of these things. Yeah. So that's it. That's all I got. I'm gonna go through the woods a little bit more, dick around while I'm already wet. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Give them a look. Part of the unconventional series, I guess you could call it. First one was the 3 main principles. This one's a more field applicable, hands-on type thing. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Y'all have a good one.